Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to another episode of our WCNFluencer podcast. I'm your host, Chris MacLellan, and yes, your monitor, your screen is not fooling you. We have two guests today.
Hello.
See, I'm so startled because I'm not used to having two people on one screen. But we have our newest podcaster, Carrie Severson from I Saved You, Now Do the Dishes. And I think right sitting to it, see, it'd be my left, but it could be your right watching watching on TV, her husband, Gavin Dewey. Gavin, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, Christopher. Nice to meet you as well.
Thanks for doing this. And I understand this is really the first time you two might have publicly talked about your caregiving experience.
Yeah. Just kind of family and friends.
Yeah, I
thing.
sprung it on him like that. I think it was like Monday. I was like, "P.S. We're doing this on Wednesday." And he was like, "Oh, okay."
That's when I got the check mark in from Gavin. He says, "I will do this." So no, I really do appreciate this opportunity to visit with you and get to know you even a little bit more. But Carrie, you're off to a rousing start with your podcast.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad.
But I got to ask Gavin. I mean, how good are you at washing dishes?
Man, that's one of my pet peeves. I absolutely hate them. Like I really want. I may or may not have figured out Elon Musk's email address, and I said, please create a dishwasher like a car wash, so you can just put the dish in there. And it'll wash the dish like it hooks up to your car, and he didn't respond. But so yeah, I don't like it. But I do it when I have to.
Which is why it's called "I Saved You, Now Do the Dishes," because it was like a heated argument we got into when he was in treatment, or it was post-treatment, and we were trying to find balance again. And it's like the pendulum swung so far to one side. I need you to step back in, and I'm like, you need to start doing the dishes, and. So he bought himself gloves, dishwashing gloves.
Okay.
And then that night I was in our bedroom. Sorry if you can hear our dog. He's now just started to come alive.
It's a family podcast. It's okay.
Okay. Yep. So that night Gavin started doing the dishes, but he's much better at it than he used to be.
Well, practice makes perfect. But I have to tell you, Carrie, I've had so many comments about the title of your podcast and how it really relates to people's experience, especially people like yourself who are a married couple that was faced with a terrible diagnosis just soon after you moved into your home.
Yeah. I get a lot of comments from caregivers that, when they learn of the title, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I love that. That's great." And then I'll get in my head sometimes and I'll be like, "Man, this is really too snarky. It's such a sensitive topic," but so far so good. So thank you.
Gavin, what did you think of the title of the podcast?
Oh boy, Scheiser. I guess it was catchy. Is catchy, but yeah, I was hoping it was like, "I love you now. Give me a back rub, maybe." I don't know.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and it's one thing that cancer taught me. I think I probably got it for a reason. Living in the past, I wish I still lived in the old place, type of thing is being present, and maybe more of a service attitude rather than, oh yeah, me, like too much of me. I'm an only, and sometimes I can be too me focused type of thing. And so I think cancer was God's kick to the nether regions, saying, "Hey, you better up your game," or it's that type of thing. It feels like it was like a wake up call, so to speak. Not only that, also about the fragility of life. Like it was you had a thing like an orange over here, and it was like I was making like videos for my kids that just in case type of thing.
And the diagnosis and the cancer itself, as I understand it, kind of came on quickly.
Well, yeah, it was really weird. It was like October 28th, like the day before, everything fine. Afterwards, a little bit of maybe not almond shape, but like I don't know, it was about this big, here it popped out. I was like, well, maybe I strained my neck. Maybe it's a big ingrown hair or zit or something, because it just popped out of nowhere. And then it was still there a couple weeks later. It's like, well, probably should get this checked out. And from there, that's when the roller coaster ride began, and the like intensity type stuff.
Yeah, it was crazy. So we had just moved into this beautiful home like 6 weeks prior, and he has 2 kids, and the youngest one made friends. I don't know if he made friends for the first time in like his life, but it was like he called it his boy gang. Like there were like 6 8-year-olds in our house every weekend, and they were all over here in our pantry rummaging through the kitchen, and I'm like dishing mac and cheese out for who I thought was just going to be his kids here, but now there's all these other kids. And Gavin comes out of the bedroom and he's got his hand over his neck and he's like, honey, does my neck look big to you? Does this side of my neck look big? And I thought he was going to like play a prank or something. So I was ignoring him. And then he's like, no, seriously, Carrie, look at me. And the way he said it made my, like, your, skin kind of prick or give me a knot in my stomach. And it really was like, you could see it like protruding out of his neck. And then, of course, I looked at Google. Rookie mistake, number 1 mistake. Don't do that. And then it was like, oh, go to the ER, go get it looked at. After 3 days, if it's still there, go get it looked at. So then Monday comes and he walks down to the urgent care and they're like, yeah, you need an ultrasound. So he's like, well, that's a waste of money. And then it just sort of spiraled where it was like, we were just trying to get ahead of it, try to figure out what is this? And we're constantly, from the start, it felt like we were against a system or a machine that like you couldn't. What door are you supposed to walk into to get the right?
It was in slow motion is what it was.
Yeah.
It was like you do a thing, you have to wait a week for results. Do a thing, you have to wait. Like it was like ultrasound, and then like an ultrasound maybe with contrast, and then the biopsy. The biopsy took forever. And I was at the point, and it felt like it was growing. I think it was growing. Rapidly. Kind of like, like a blister or something like that.
He would draw a circle around it every night.
I would not every night, but I would draw a circle. I felt like it was getting bigger. I need to see if it's
and every night.
And then you do start doing, like she said, the internet, Google research. I remember a movie I watched many years ago about fruits and vegetables can cure you. So that was like you read everything and anything, and you're like, oh, that makes sense, and you get like super confused about what is the right course of action to do.
Right.
And that's a tricky thing. And then you just have to have faith it's the right thing to do. And I definitely feel like I had some of that when it was the right thing to do. At the same time, because there's so much money involved, that I was skeptical that it wasn't just a cash grab. So that was hard to come to terms with until after I got quote unquote cured this summer type of thing, or last summer. That's probably one of the hardest parts of having it too. Is like, what is the right course? Is it the right traditional where you're getting the radiation and chemo, and then literally the chemo nurses are in like extra bibs and like all this radiation protection equipment. Here you go, have this. And it's like, why are you wearing that? Oh, because it causes cancer. And, and you're like, what the flip? It was, and you kill cancer with things that cause cancer, kind of thing. It's
right. You kill.
Right. It's an
oxymoron.
The whole thing was hard.
It's strange. It's just,
yeah.
It's strange. It did definitely kill it and killed some other stuff around it.
Yeah.
But that part is tough as someone that has cancer. It's like, oh, do I do this? Do I do that? Type of thing. And I remember reaching out to another person as a doctor, and they mentioned specifically Steve Jobs and how Steve, he had all the money in the world. He was a rational doctor, smart guy. And he's like, think about it. If you have all the money in the world, you're going to try to do whatever is possible. And what he didn't do is the traditional cancer treatment. He tried all these different alternative treatments. And, he said, you see how it turned out for him. So I would recommend you do what the doctors tell you to do. And I decided that made logical sense. If Steve Jobs could have anybody the best practical choices, and he rejected some of traditional medicine, and that cost him his life. So it's better to not do that. It just made some logical sense there. It's hard to come to terms that you can kill cancer with radiation, which causes cancer, and chemo causes cancer, but it appears so far to work for me, and I'm thankful for that. Thankful for that conversation as well. I should probably thank him again after today, because he just reminded me of that. He convinced me to not, swim against the grain, swim upstream, because I kind of wanted to swim upstream.
Yeah.
Right. And it's so important to find on the medical side, trusted care partners that can give you information so that you can both make informed decisions. And when you're in the midst of a diagnosis, and we're going to get to the part of how you learned your diagnosis, you're balancing so many different things that sometimes it's really hard to know unless you've got an objective third person that can kind of sit back and help you walk through this.
Even from the beginning, it was like we didn't have that, which it took 3 weeks for his biopsy results to come back. And when he finally got it, he got a voicemail from his primary, which was my first, so I was pissed about that. So I ended up leaving a nasty voicemail on his primary care physicians. And then,
well, that's why they don't call back. Why are you coming in?
So then he called his primary, emails them 2 days later. And he's like, can you tell your wife? And Gavin's like, I can try. But, from there,
doesn't matter.
Anyway, from there, Gavin's like, I want to be the captain of my own ship. So he walks into the ER a couple of days after getting his diagnosis, because all we got was a phone number to another doctor.
It was like, here, you go to this other person, and then and it was already so slow, the biopsy. And I went to another hospital before, and you get tests, you get results in 2 or 3 hours. So I went to that particular hospital. I was like, if I'm going to live, because the system, I think, I won't say that, starts with a B. This is one of the large providers, and it was like, do that, and it wouldn't be till 3 or 4 months, and you're still kind of doing diagnoses type of thing. So I walked into this hospital, and they did a CAT scan with contrast. That was a scary day. I was like, what the flip? Because the reason why I say that, the contrast, and then the results came back by an hour and a half. So 3 weeks, hour and a half. Okay, you're probably in the right place, the hour and a half place, right? But the messed up thing is they happen to have a priest walking around, and
I forgot about that.
And it's like, yeah, it looks yeah, it's cancer. It's it's huge, and
and the priest
is like, oh, let's tell you, and I'm a Christian, it's like, I don't know, I don't think I've done enough. I'm not good enough. I've been too selfish. I've been, me focused all the time, and so we had that conversation, and I was just like, oh shit. And in the back of my head, I'm going, oh shit, is he having this conversation because I'm gonna die soon? And that was the thing.
It was a lot.
It helped me get into that particular hospital, but they were like a cash up front type of situation, because our insurance wasn't fully set up yet for that situation. And then
it kicked in January.
It was out of network anyway, so we were blessed because of some parental units that were able to scrounge things together. And the crazy thing too, we didn't even tell them this, was my stepmother died of cancer
2 weeks before he was diagnosed.
Yeah, about 2 weeks, week and a half before I was diagnosed. So it was like, and
It
that's
was
the
a
only
lot.
time I heard my dad cry on the phone. Called his vet, died.
So meanwhile, we're waiting for his results and helping his dad through his death. And then at some point we're like, well, we have to tell your dad that
And I was afraid to tell them
we were
about
so
it
scared.
while she was on her deathbed. I thought, because as a stepmom, we didn't, stepmoms and kids, not that we didn't we weren't super best friends. So I thought she would think that I'm trying to get attention on myself type of thing. And so we waited till afterwards, and my dad really didn't believe it first. Like, it's probably nothing.
Yeah, because that was so when the doctor called with the
about that
diagnosis of the biopsy, it was a 2-minute run-on sentence, one breath. We had no idea what he was saying. I played it so many times, I kept on trying to grab like the cancer cell he was repeating, and we were Googling it and trying to figure it out. We didn't even, I mean, that was so messed up. You're like trying to figure out all these pieces by ourselves. And so we assumed when we said the cell, everyone's like, oh, it's just skin cancer. Just, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And we're looking at it and it's growing and it's got like different shapes and lumps now. And we're like, it's underneath his skin. It's like in his neck. Anyway. Yeah. So the ER place, diagnosed him with head and neck cancer, some random person. And then, in 2 spots, so lymph nodes and I think his tonsil or his tongue. And from there it was like 6 months, 6 weeks later, I think he started treatment. A month after that, he was close to death.
I remember I was talking to my dad about it, and he, has friends and had something similar, and they had surgery done on it. And considering my stepmom went through chemo radiation, didn't do much, but knock off 100 pounds off her weight and, like skin and bones type of thing. So I saw that was another reason why I was gravitating towards alternatives. I saw what chemo and radiation did to my stepmom.
Yeah, I get that. And 100%. Yeah.
And I remember they didn't want to do it. They wanted to do the chemo and radiation. And I remember I was like, let me get a little razor blade, because it was like right there on the surface. Maybe I can get it, type of thing.
He kept on saying,
but there's also like I think it's a jugular vein there, or there's a
there's
some kind of really
jugular vein.
It's the carotid and the jugular. And he's like, I can't cut it out of you because I can't cut your jugular because your jugular sits on your carotid. And he's like, you don't want me to cut those veins? And Gavin's like, well, if why can't you?
I was like, you're a surgeon, right?
Cut it out. Just cut it out. It was hard from the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember you kept thinking I was going to cut it out.
I know. We're standing in the kitchen and he's like, I'm like looking at the knives and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I need to hide the knives.
I remember that part. It's like, I wanted to, but I just didn't have the...
Anyway.
I thought it would be better if I didn't.
They called it a tumor cluster. And so it wasn't just like one large one. It had grown so rapidly.
Starting to grow.
But what we learned was that it had probably been in his body for a really long time. And then in October was when it started to push itself, because it was growing so fast at that point. It was pushing it up against other tumors. Anyway.
So the diagnosis, it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, Carrie, but and Gavin, that the diagnosis that you're the one with cancer, and then there's your spouse who's kind of the co-pilot, and it's a diagnosis that impacts 2 people differently.
Yes, 100%.
Talk a little bit about how the diagnosis impacted your relationship.
Okay. Well, one, my wife's very sensitive. So I would say the diagnosis probably impacted her. And it sounds really cliche, but it's not. It's not at all. Not true. Affected her as much, if not more than me, because just, past trauma, I guess, from being bullied in high school and stuff like that. So our relationship, like with me, it's like I just like the love. It was like almost not a test of love or a crucible of love. It's like, man, did I get lucky with my wife? Like it's like, going through divorce, it was painful, and I was scared as bejesus getting to get married again, and I was worried because it like the other person, from my perspective, was just trying to like, gut me with a knife. It felt like, and twist it constantly, and I was worried somehow I'd piss off Carrie, and then I have two women that are trying to gut me like a fish. And sorry, honey, but that's what I was worried about. But because it's scary, I don't want it to be scary. Just ask Bill Clinton.
Anywho,
sorry. We're okay relationship wise. So sorry, ADD is bad. Like if a woman really loves you, you're an idiot to not marry her. So like I knew she really loved me. Like it's like I don't know. It's just the right, not only is the right thing to do. It's like,
how did you feel like cancer affected our relationship?
Oh, that question.
Yes.
Oh, I think it made it stronger in the end.
Yes.
It definitely. Sorry.
All right. So yes, I'm sensitive. B, I don't feel like cancer affected me more than you. It definitely affected us differently, where the biggest challenge was because it was happening to him and not me. There was always this delicate balance of what do I get to say in? Do I get to say? Where's my voice? Am I, but eventually it literally, I mean, I'm in caregiving trauma therapy now, and my therapist is constantly like, I'm not surprised Gavin got cancer in his vocal cords. I'm not surprised it stripped him of his voice because of previous experience. And there were literal times where it hurt him to speak. We were like charading and walking around, like writing notes to one another. And he actually even signed a document where I was his voice for a while through the hospital. So in the beginning, when he still could talk, it was very much like, I don't have a say in this. This is my choice. This is the treatment I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. But when it got to the point where it was like, I want to quit.
There was a lot of that.
There was like, come week 2, I'm pulling out all the stops. I'm calling his dad. I'm calling my parents.
It was weird. It just went from, I kind of eat a little bit, and then all of a sudden, like the next day, radiation kind of does that. It's like
it compiles. They keep say that it compiles upon each other,
and then it hits a couple hours after you do it.
Anyway, so it definitely grew us closer in a way that nothing else we've experienced had. And we're those people that got married with on the porch in the middle of nowhere with like 6 people watching and 100 people on Zoom. Like we went from COVID to cancer in 3 years. We had been through some stuff, but this brought us together in a very different way, where
it's like being in the foxhole with your wife, so to
Yeah.
speak. It's not the same thing as being shot at, but it was near death, so it was a little bit,
for sure.
A little bit of it in there.
And then when he, like, I want to quit, he kept on saying the cure is killing me. The cure is worse than the cancer. He said that a lot.
Treatment's worse than the something along those lines. It felt like that at times. Obviously, when your throat closes up and drinking water tastes like shards of wooden splinters dipped in glass that's been heated to 500 degrees, it's like, what,
it was hard for him.
Is this going to work, or is this going to kill me first before it works, type of thing? And
is the cure worse than the problem?
Than the disease. That's it. Yeah.
So there were times where I had to tap into an alter ego. I say this a lot. I called it my spicy Viking. Made stickers.
Spicy Viking?
Yeah.
On a rampage.
On a rampage. That was what it was. Spicy Viking on a rampage. I actually made stickers. Somebody made t-shirts. Like
that's another podcast name for you too.
I had to get to like a level of anger and do something with my voice that I had never ever had to do before, where it was like, this is the way it's going. And I had to use that voice sometimes with him, where it was like, get into the car because we have to go to the hospital. So I can yell at someone there to stick a tube in your stomach so that you can get nutrients.
So this, I want to say, that saved me, because when I get angry and complain, nothing works out. And when she gets angry and complains, everything works. I don't know. It's like I come off as a a-hole or what. It goes sideways real quick. But somehow when you do it, you get results. It doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. So
it's another indicator of the perfect team that the two of you are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what is the future after a cancer diagnosis?
Well, the healing is very different for both. Like the day after his treatment ended, so I'm hand feeding him through tubes every 3 hours. Around the clock. And I've got like whiteboards helping me figure out his meds, his feeding schedule. There's literal.
Yeah. We had like a flow chart. I used to use it for real estate transaction. Okay, this is how many homes. Now it's the next step.
The whiteboard.
And was like feeding, drugs.
Yeah.
And then times of day.
And he threw them away. He got so mad. So there's literal pictures of me standing above him, just pissed, my hands on my hip. I look like crap. And I'm like plunging food into his feeding tube. I'm so burnt out, and Gavin feels like he's a dog on a leash, and he's like, we need to go on a road trip.
To leave, yeah.
The day after he's done with treatment, he's like, let's get in the car and go to Oregon. And I'm like, you're so high on fentanyl and oxy and all these things. And you're asking me to drive you to Oregon now.
I thought I could do it, though.
I was like, no. So healing journey looked very different. I wanted to isolate. I wanted to hide. I wanted to sleep. He wanted, and he was like he was like a vampire. He couldn't be out in the sun for like more than 3 seconds at a time because of radiation.
It was like,
sure.
Yeah, the sun was intense. So you feel like the scene in one of those vampire where they put their hand out in the sun and it kind of felt like that. But one thing about the treatment that you forgot to tell him, and I think because you left, so I probably should bring it up. So she went to a cannabis dispensary.
Oh yeah.
It's like, my husband has cancer.
The guy's
I got this special stuff for you. You tell the story.
It was like
you're better at that.
Yeah, it was rounding week 2. He couldn't swallow. And I was like, it's only the second week. They weren't expecting him to get to that point until like 4 or 5. So from the start, like his case was a little bit different. And we had been to the hospital for ER the day before. He still didn't have any like opioids. So we're like, Tylenol and stuff. And somebody was like, well, you should try pot. So I go to the dispensary I know of, and it's like 8 a.m. on a Sunday. I'm the only one in the parking lot, and the guy opens up, unlocks the door. I'm the first one there. And he looks at me and he's like, first time here? And I'm dressed like I'm going to church. And I'm like, yeah, my husband has cancer. He's in a lot of pain. We need help. And he's like, oh, I've got a 2-for-1 special. And he took me to this back room, and I walked out 20 minutes later with orange raspberry gummies. And the guy's like, just start with like half a one. And, when Gavin woke up, he ate the whole one and then didn't move for like 10 hours.
It was, yeah, that was definitely stoned. And it felt like,
did you have some relief?
Like someone had a 50-pound weight.
Did it feel better? Weight. Did you feel better? I think he did.
I think I did. I was definitely better at sitting on the couch and not thinking very much, like instead of worrying and that type of thing. I was complacent at being lazy on the couch, and it took away some of the anxiety part of it. I don't think I got all like when in college, like, oh, the police are here. Like you have that paranoid thing. I don't think that happened with the gummies.
No, you were sleeping the majority of the time.
So,
but
yeah, it did help. Yeah, with put me to sleep, which is what you need. Sleep does help a lot when you're sick or something like that. That helps your body repair for some reason.
But the future piece is like what we're consistently looking at, like even now, because a year after cancer, it's done things to him, it's done things to me, it's made us different as individuals, and then our relationship's different. What we used to let affect us doesn't, like this sweating the small stuff or whatever that you kind of sweat, and then I would imagine you sweat in the start of a marriage. I mean, we've been married 5 years here coming up this September. I imagine other people who haven't had this sort of death defying sort of life altering experience may not be in the same place as we are, where it doesn't matter if we sit down for dinner every night. We could be very different schedules. As long as we connect at some point, we're good. Like, it's different.
Different. Yeah.
He's on his journey, I'm on mine, and yet we're really close. We're great friends. We're a team. And we have our individual healing journeys, and then we have our together. We're together walking the same one. It's hard.
We're more united, I would say. Like, it's like, it's hard to.
Yeah.
It's like the foxhole mate. Like, you just know that's the person you want on your team, type of thing. Like Jordan and Pippen, type of thing. Like that's, and now Rodman is too. He wasn't a good partner usually, but Jordan and Pippen or Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, type of thing. Like we're just on the same page.
On the same page.
And if we're not,
she lets me know.
That's funny. It's a really quick fix where it's like, okay, I need to say 3 things to you. I need 5 minutes of your time. We're very direct that way. And then we get, things that used to fester don't anymore. Yeah, I can tell you
when you go through a diagnosis like this and then an experience and dealing with all the calamities of the healthcare system, when you come right back down to it, it's really the two of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it kind of bonds people. These experiences really kind of bond people. At least that's what I've learned over all the years of having the privilege to talk to folks like yourself who been through similar experiences that I've been through, that you think back of the experience. And I think that's why a lot of us stay in it as advocates, because when we're able to share the story, then we know that we're helping people in a way that we probably needed when we were first in the middle of it.
Yeah, I have a lot of people that contact me and ask, what about this? What was this like? How did this happen?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that part. After this happened to me, we've had quite a few people that we know all of a sudden come down with cancer diagnosis. And so I was able to confidently say, go here instead of having to wait weeks and weeks and weeks. You get hours. And both those people did that. And I think both the results so far have been pretty good. So it's almost like I had to go through this to help other people. Strangely, I look at things from a God perspective, like, okay, well, this had to happen. So you are serving me, even though you're a selfish P word some of the time. You're helping me here because other people are going to suffer without your experiences. So I didn't think of it this way, but so I was able to help those 2 people. You helped them too, but like sharing my experiences, hey, this is a place to go. And they went and they got what they needed results wise. And that's as far as getting test results back quick. It feels good. Right?
Just kind of proves the point that in most cases, if not all cases, the best information and referral comes from one caregiver.
Oh,
to another.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a
Because
lot
we've
of
been in the trenches. Yeah.
tips and tricks that I try to pass on, or that companies that resources, I learned along the way that I try to pass on.
So we could probably talk for a couple of hours, and I hope we can do more of this. And I'm going to put both of you on the spot here, if you don't mind, if you're thinking about this experience. And I'm going to say this wonderful, difficult experience. Gavin, what would you want to say to Carrie that you may not have said?
If I didn't say this, I should have. No, I really, I can look at you too. I'm going to say this. I really super appreciate it. And it is amazing how lucky I am to have met you. And then you didn't like kick me to the curb a couple times because,
you say that all the time.
Yeah. Because,
he says that all the time.
I'm definitely not perfect, or I don't think, I don't think I'm that awesome, but,
yeah,
I appreciate you sticking with me.
He says that all the time.
Because
you're welcome.
I do. Because
I know.
Because I do. Because
is there anything you haven't said? I don't think so. We're pretty open. I mean, I'm a professional communicator, and so I force him to say stuff.
And I'm pretty ADD, so you tend to like impulse control and just blurt out stuff, talk over people, yeah, and run on sentences, type of thing. So I'm pretty sure I said everything. I may have expressed things in anger that I probably shouldn't have, but that's thankfully
we understand that in the moment for sure.
Yeah. Thankfully, she's acceptance of that, and she knows that.
Yeah,
it's just angry voice versus logical, loving voice.
That is
so, Carrie, I'm going to turn it around to you, even though you are, as you just said, you're the professional communicator. Has there been something that has been left unsaid that you could think of that you'd like to share today? Because from just meeting really the two of you over the today and our previous conversations, Carrie, it's real easy for me to see the loving relationship.
Oh, thank you.
And the banter that the two of you have back and forth. When I can't. I want to come to Arizona and kind of hang out.
You're sweet. Yeah, we're being really good friends and being open, and like that has always been, that came first. Cancer made that like a strong necessity, like understanding, because in that there's no romance, there's no, he's spitting blood and chunks of mucus on the walls.
Forgot about that.
I'm on my hands and knees mostly picking up. There's anything you needed to know about him, people were coming to me. So
yeah, because
it's very different.
Running my mouth in water.
He had this side effect. I called it ropes of mucus. I talk about it, where he would literally be pulling out ropes of mucus. And so there's nothing sexy about cancer.
Paper towel. I remember I was showing a client listings and had paper towels that just
it's nasty.
It wasn't bloody, but it was just constant. And then it stopped.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
So left unsaid.
Sorry about that. Thanks for reminding me.
There's a lot of healing that has to happen for a caregiver because of you're grieving everything, the loss of a life that you thought you were walking into. And we had just bought this house. We had just started this life. We were trying to find this is our very first home together. We were trying to find our footing. And I never hosted Thanksgiving before, and we have this beautiful kitchen, and you're at the end of this long island. It's like a 20-foot, 4-foot wide, beautiful. It's an entertaining household. And our very first Thanksgiving, we're like on pins and needles waiting for, we called it his big fat boil on the side of his neck here. And we're like praying over the boil. It was weird. It was a weird time of life. A lot of
people did this.
We had a lot of people praying for him. We had like people sending stuff from like around the world. He has charms from like the Vatican.
I had a bunch of people send me that. Or two people. One was from my stepmother's brother, but other from your family. And so I definitely felt supported in the prayer world. Like there were a lot of people praying for me. So that I think it couldn't have hurt when people are wishing good things for you. So
But
that's why I wear this. I don't believe in praying to saints, I'm praying to God, just the way it's written and in the book that I read. And but I wear this as an appreciation. Like it's an appreciation for people that were looking out for my goodwill, even though they may not have known me that well. And so that, feels good.
But left unsaid, it's more like healing the pieces that had to be said then. It's a weird experience to like be on the opposite side of this, watching this happen.
Right.
Being stripped of your voice and yet having to fight to move this whole thing forward. You know that really well, as every other caregiver does. And so the only thing that, I've said this to him, like my voice does matter. I'm a professional communicator. My voice matters. I believe we all have stories. From a healthcare perspective, I feel like caregivers are overlooked a lot and we're dismissed. And I'm grateful that's changing. I feel like we're finally in a place where we have a lot more input.
Caregivers are the CEO of the care team. Chief Everything Officer.
Yes.
What a delight to visit with the two of you. I've got some ideas about other topics that we could talk about, but we'll do that maybe offline. But gosh, what a beautiful love story.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Christopher.
Yeah, we feel lucky.
Yeah. So, Carrie, let everybody know how they can learn to do the dishes.
Sure. I Saved You, Now Do the Dishes is the name of my podcast. And it's, I'm at CarrieSeverson.com and author Carrie Severson on Instagram. Come and find me.
And we'll have all the links to Carrie's contact information and her landing page on the Whole Care Network. And please subscribe to I Saved You, Now Do the Dishes, wherever you get your podcast. And Carrie and Gavin, thanks for sharing a bit of your story with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. Comb your hair.